Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psychic Investigator, hello, everybody, welcome. Rosie Psychic Investigator. So, guys, it's over here, it's January 7th at 9 p.m. Rio time. And I'm so sorry about the latest news about what happened with ICE in Minneapolis. And let's do the protection because I want to talk about it right away. So, I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle, I step into it, I feel protected, I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good, and so it is. So I don't really want to show you guys, I'm sure you've seen it, the image of the man. There were two men approaching an SUV, and then one shoots, like boom, 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 the passenger, who was, to me, looks like completely unarmed, right? So we know it is what it is. And immediately when I saw this, I got Kent State reverse. So Kent State marked the moment in the 60s when things got darker. And here I think it's the moment, it's the end of this administration. And I also got the message to pray for Minneapolis and Minnesota, because they are being targeted by trash and the orange devil, right? Trash, aka the orange devil. And it's saying this is the moment where anybody who is spiritual, it does not matter what, if you follow religion or not, that's not the point. Recognize the power of the light and do not give in to fear or outrage. Just think of yourself as a powerful person in your thoughts and your, like, almost like if there's lasers, just sending them over there, because it's a time of faith also, that you believe that you have power and the words have power. And I've said before lately in some comments, people say keep repeating what Trash says. Do not repeat what he says. Repeat what you want to see in the world. So I'm going to close my eyes here and project the light towards Minneapolis and removing any and all negative energy and all energy that does not chime with the highest level of vibration. Remove any and all energy that is not connected with the highest light. And when you think of Minneapolis in Minnesota, see these rays of light coming from your fingertips and feel how powerful they are and how strong they are. Send them in the direction of that city, of that state, and into the hearts of people, into the entire field of the city and the state, so that the light may erase any and all negative intentions, negative actions, so that the light wins over the darkness. And I'm getting, okay, so I just feel like it's a moment of channeling, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to start talking. So Rosie, this is the moment where you have to tell them that we are clearing them out. This is the darkest moment. And after the darkest moment comes the light. What one must never do is we must never lose hope and the ability to envision the highest good. You and all who are listening to this recording must awaken to their own power and use the true power they have, which is the power of turning on the light within them and letting the highest light guide them and transform the world. This is the ultimate lesson for all at this moment. Do not give in to the outrage, to the fear, to the hate. Instead, ask God, ask the universe to turn on the highest light within yourself and project that towards all who need protection, towards these events, so that these events and their energy is demagnetized and neutralized, so that the light can remove, again, all darkness. Okay, so, and so it is, okay. So, guys, I want to know here and I also have to say, when I saw the thing that I told you what I had picked up, the other thing about Kent State sending the light, and then I also picked up that that's right, that this is the turnaround, and tell me, and I see this river overflowing. Oh, this was the thing I wanted to say. I don't, honestly, I don't necessarily want to know too much about this because we saw it with our own. We don't need to, right? It was very clear exactly what happened there, and what's going to happen next to these. I was going to say people. I guess they are humans. That's part of human. These are also human, right? Creatures who did this. But what's going to happen to them and to the Orange Devils administration now that this happened? Because we know the goal, right? It's obvious. Honestly, I do think, as dark as it is, that there was obviously, it's like this wouldn't have happened without without Orange saying yes to something like this. But I almost feel like they wanted something like this to happen, and I feel like they may have recorded, even like there was something about it that they wanted it to happen like this. And then they were going to blame some kind of like, pseudo whatever. I'm not going to even name names, right? Of the fake group they claim exists. So this is the goal, to kind of erupt, create some sort of oh, this is going to be a trigger for like a civil war or whatever. And instead, I see that the whole thing freezes. Oh, and it's like they become frozen and collapse. But what happens now, it's saying, and I see that Trump, yeah, is celebrating, of course, because that's what he does when he sees darkness and evil. That's his ilk. And then I see, honestly, I do see this image of God, like the card of the judgment, right? When a spirit comes in back to earth, and it's like this moment where the good, is that is rapture, what they call it, right? It's, but not really what they mean by that, right? But in the sense of the highest comes down, and the ones that are believers stay, and the ones that are evil like them are made to collapse. But I don't mean that they're all gonna like pass away or something like that immediately, but their power is removed. But okay, so what about the people that are going to tell me, oh, but look at them, they're still around. It's time for you to awaken your power and start to say it loud. It's over now. This time is over. The page has turned. We are living at a time where we have power, and our focus on the light, on removing any and all things that don't align with the highest light, it works. Okay, you have to say we're transitioning into this new era, and this is, the devil is losing power, and they are doing the darkest, and they're pushing harder and harder in order to trigger fear within U.S. citizens and people in the U.S. in general, not just citizens, right? So what to do? It's like focusing on this, okay? And what else? What's going to happen next? It's funny, I just see again the Trump administration, these people being like frozen, as if they're frozen in time. And I remember when I was a kid, there were these cartoons where like they were frozen, they couldn't move anymore. And that's what it feels like to me here. And I also get that the person, the victim, who was brutally murdered, okay, it's not, this is may sound kind of sad what I say, or maybe bad, but that there was like this fate. There was a like a fate, there was a destiny to her. Okay. And I know this is, of course, a very challenging moment. And I don't want to, like I said about the victim, that there was this, like I see her, this huge angel, this wonderful person. And I see, it tells me, Rosie, she sacrificed herself to save others. And it's the turning point. I really picked that up. And I'd say it's the bottom, then things go up in the sense that the energy has really changed. Okay. Now, then this leads me to the other question. What is what is Trash and his people? What are they going to do next? Are they going to stop, or what? Or what's going to happen to these people that did it? I see, like I said, the orange person was happy when he heard about this. But I see Stephen Miller actually being like kind of frozen, like, oh, we can't do, like, they're not. I see helicopters hovering over them, and Stephen Miller telling him it's over. We can't go ahead with this. There's a phone. I see Stephen Miller hanging up the phone. But why did Stephen Miller hang up the phone? Somebody in the Pentagon, high-ranking person in the Pentagon, saying we cannot. We're going to move next to stop this. Wow, yeah. It's too blatant. It's too obvious. It's too poorly done. Wow. And it's even the people said that this was just so sloppy. It was meant, they're saying it was meant to look like it was done by them, not by us. And it was obvious that it was us. You're not supposed to do it this way. So, and it's saying tomorrow will be a day of mourning. But it's the turnaround. And it's saying again, just like Kent State. But the opposite, like I said, the Kent State things went darker. Now they're going to move towards the lighter direction. Okay. And how can we know that Minneapolis will be safe? Because as the mayor said, it's obvious that they want to send in troops, right? To criminalize and to blame Minneapolis and Minnesota for this, when obviously they have nothing to do with this. It just it shows me them frozen, as if, and guys, I don't mean to use this example because it's reminding me of, I've seen the things about chemical weapons when people are like frozen, like, but it's not that. Okay, don't worry, it's not that. It's more like they're just unable to act. They can't do anything anymore. That's what I'm getting. And again, I know I already am anticipating some of the comments, but it's like, try to go as highest as you can and to stay in the light, because we are being all challenged with our fate, with our hearts. But the key here is to not buy into their hatred, the fear that they want us to feel. Okay. And that is the message for this moment. Okay. So I will come back. I'm going to look into other events, but this is the biggest. And this is the one for now. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk soon. Bye.